This week on Uncut Gems with Slim, entrepreneurship and self-employment, whatever you want to call it these days, it is not for the faint of heart. You better have tough skin, you better have big faith, and be great with your finances. Become good with your finances because, ain't nobody in control but you. Uncut
Gems with Slim, yeah, that's the name. Hey y'all, welcome back. It's another episode of Uncut Gems with Slim. I'm your host, Slim Reshae, aka Jasmine, and we have a very special guest in the building, Miss Micah. Yes, she's in the building today, and today we have a lot to talk about, okay? Because unlike me, Micah took a leap of faith, okay? And so as a part-time creator, if y'all don't know, I do have a full-time job. It's really like 8:30 to 5 because that's the time I like to come in at. But it's also non-traditional. So I work game days and all those things because I work in sports. And as a part-time creative, which means all of the footage you see is usually filmed at night after I get off work or on a day that I'm off. And one thing that a lot of us part-time creators always like have a vision for is taking that leap of faith and being a full-time influencer or a full-time entrepreneur. And y'all, a lot comes along with that. So Micah, please introduce yourself and let the people know what branch you fall under your entrepreneur title.
So hello, I am Micah Michelle of Micah Michelle Artistry. And so I like to say that first and foremost, I am a photographer.
Yes.
I love to do photography, but I also do makeup as well. It helps as a benefit to Micah Michelle Artistry because I get a 2-for-1 for my clients. So they love it.
Yes. And so so first of all, we love makeup, okay?
Yes.
So I was so excited to have you on because we could talk about a few different things on here.
I'm with it.
And so what did you do before you took that leap of faith into being a full-time entrepreneur?
So before I was actually working for corporate America. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. But so I was, I would say your normal everyday corporate job. We had the statistics. We had to do all of the I would say sucking up to clients and the mundane of routine after day. And that just was not me. I was not built for corporate America. Just not my thing. Don't want to do it. So before that, I was also in retail. So like I did makeup. I did things that actually fueled my passion. And so that's what kind of led to me saying like, I think I'm more than just sitting behind a desk at a computer.
Right. And so with that, for me, I kind of fell into my entrepreneurial journey. So after I graduated, or when I was in college, that's when I started my YouTube channel. And it was just like pure fun, passion, all those things. So when I started, like, I didn't have a plan to get out of corporate. You know what I'm saying? So how did you start doing your photography on the side? And what was that journey like for you to be a part-time influencer and then converting into full-time?
So for me, photography actually started in 2012. It started as a hobby, like how yours was. It was like, oh, I like taking pictures. My friends love me taking pictures of them. So I'm like, okay, why not?
Friends love the pictures, okay.
But so it started out, it was right after I moved back from New York. And I lived in New York for a year. And so, you know, that drives you. That will make every piece of creative genius inside of you come out.
Like you be like, I can do this.
Exactly. Because I started with fashion. I moved to New York for fashion. Found out fashion really wasn't my thing. But then I was like, okay, photography. Once I started doing photography, it grew from hobby to passion. And so with that, it was like, okay, I don't want to give up photography. I don't think I can make it for a living on photography when I started. So I was like, why not? I mean, I got bookings for me to do international weddings, all while still working a 9-to-5. So you saw what it could be, but it was that lack of confidence to actually go for it full time.
Okay, that's me. That's me all day, every day.
Listen, them bills still got to get paid.
That part.
So that's why it started then, but then it grew more and more. And so the passion became more of the focal point. Like every day I would hate going to corporate America. Like I like the company that I work for. I hate what I did. but
Boy,
it
that
paid the
resonates.
bills.
Okay.
It paid the bills.
And it's showing.
Exactly. And it was actually the position that I left right before I went full time. I actually made the most that I've ever made in my life. Like the position I didn't qualify for on paper. So I know that was a God move.
Okay.
Because, it also helped fund my business, my photography.
We literally just talked about that. Yes.
Listen, so I didn't want to give up one, apple for an orange because I didn't think they worked together. But technically I had two apples.
Right.
It helped me fund my business, but in actuality, it wasn't necessarily what I needed for the long term.
Right.
So God allowed me to see that corporate America was helping me with structure. It helped me to think more professionally when it was time for me to go full time. So it wasn't all bad, but it just wasn't fit. It wasn't a fit for me for forever.
Right. Real quick, I just wanted to take a moment and pause and ask, are you subscribed? Make sure you subscribe to us on all podcast streaming platforms and check out the visual on YouTube at Uncut Gems with Slim. Lastly, don't forget we are also on Instagram. Follow us on Insta to get motivational snippets, episode highlights, and so much more. Now, let's get back to today's episode. And I truly believe, there's a reason for every season. So definitely this corporate time, that's when people ask me, why aren't you full-time? I'm like, well, one, I need insurance. I ain't trying to pay it out of pocket. And two, I definitely feel like the season I'm in is for a reason, and there's certain things that I need to pick up and learn and all this stuff. And here recently, I've been getting a lot of opportunities to learn more on the creative side. So I'm like, okay, Lord,
there you go.
What are you doing? I ain't ready yet. But when you say go, I'm going to be like, you sure? I'm just like, I'm going to try to go. I'm trying to go. I'm going to put a gas.
Yeah, that's real. That is real.
But, so talking about this, I want to know, what a lot of people always want to know, what was that final push? What made you bite the bullet and be like, I'm doing this?
So it was a couple of things.
Okay.
One, it was just the sheer stress of work. Of going to a job that did not, not fuel me wanting to get up every day and go and do that thing. Another thing was I've always had, God would show me bits and pieces of what my future would be, and it never included corporate America. It was always about photography and not even really makeup, because makeup, he allows it to be a tool. It's not necessarily my passion per se, but it's something I really love to do.
Right.
But the final push was, I remember it, girl. Yes. So it was at the top. It was at the top of 2021, and I was just like, I hate this job. I literally hate what I do. And I was like, God, just take your girl out of here. Make sure I got money though.
Look,
don't just take me and don't have no money.
Listen, I'd be like, Lord, just fire me. If it's my time, just fire me so I ain't got to do
Listen, I was like, just give your girl another out. I need something that's gonna be making me want to wake up every morning and do it. So it was at the top of 2021, and God literally told me, listen, I need you to sit and focus with me for a while. That means cut out everything that you're doing that's a distraction or that's taking your focus away. And I need you to sit and talk with me. Because I'm going to prepare you for this transition that's coming. Right. Didn't know what the transition was. Absolutely not. So it was at the top of 2020. And so I'm like, okay, God. And he's like, start becoming a better employee, because I will not lie to y'all. I tried, especially when they started making us work from home.
That's me in this season right now. I got to be a better employee.
Yes. He was like, because my job, I didn't have a production goal. It was really based on, because I had clients that I worked for. So it was whenever they needed something, that's when you would go back and forth with them. But he was like, I need you to start getting up. I need you to start getting to work on time. I need you to stop taking 2-hour lunches. Okay. I need you to stop taking your laptop to go get your hair done and get your nails done, because I had that flexibility.
I'm going to take it.
Listen, or I'm going to take a 2-hour nap on lunch.
Yes.
But he was like, I need you to start being a better employee, because what you do now is going to set up for the employees that come to you.
Yes.
So what you're sowing now is what you're going to get. Yes. So I was like, okay. So I started doing that. And then he was like, don't worry, the things that I have to take away from you, don't look at it as a negative, but look at it as I'm preparing you for something better.
Right.
So I lost friends. I lost, just different people. And I was like, God, what's the season?
Okay.
Wait a minute. And he was like, I need you to know that my voice needs to ring louder than anybody else's around you. And so I was like, okay, God, like,
speak.
If that's what you choose, okay. And so as things started turning, it was like, okay, I'm brought to bring more clients to you. More and more clients came. And I was just like, wow, like maybe I can actually do this, by myself, because he allowed me to see that my income from photography almost doubled what I made on a salary.
Listen.
And so he was like, these are the things I need you to understand, because when it's time for you to go, because he would tell me your time's coming up. And so he was like, as the time comes, just know that I've already shown you how good I am. Right. I've already shown you that I'll provide. I've answered every prayer request that you've had.
Yes.
And so it was August when he was like, put in your 30-day notice. I was like, for me, I was excited, like, say less. I had that thing written up real quick.
Been like, you sure?
But literally in my out loud, that's what I said. But internally, I was scared to death because I was like, granted, I ain't got the stress of this job, but God, I've never been without a paycheck. Like I had the fear of a poverty mindset because I was like, God, if you take it away, what if I fail?
Right.
And so he was like, I've already shown you that I'm Jireh. I've already shown you that I will provide for you. I've answered every prayer request. And he was like, Micah, and I this is like my little key thing that he said that's just stuck with me. He's like, if you obey me, you'll never lack another day in your life.
That's good.
And he says, the key to you never having to fear of not having is to always obey what I say. And so he said, it may sound crazy what I'm going to tell you to do. It may sound, logical, but just obey. And so August came around. He said, write up the resignation, but don't put a date. I said, okay. All right. So I wrote it up, ready to send, ready. Okay. I had that thing typed up, ready. Listen. And so he gave it to me probably maybe the second or third week of September. The first week of September. And he finally gave me the date. He said 9/30/21. And he said, look up what those numbers mean. And I said, okay. So 9 means the number of completion. Okay. And so I was like, okay, that means we're complete. We're done with the season. Done. Thank you, Jesus. And so he was like, 30 is the beginning or dedication to a task or a calling. Okay. And I said, okay, I can see that. I see it. And then we got to 21. And that thing said something about like wickedness and stuff like that. Even I said, ooh, Lord, hold on. Let me go ahead and stay at the job because that ain't right.
Don't want that.
He was like, no, add it together. Add the 2 and the 1 together. And it came up to 3, which meant a number of completion. Again, he was like, Micah, you've completed one season of your life. Now I'm calling you and I need you to dedicate your life now to what I'm telling you to, which is your purpose, your passion, what I literally created you to do. I need you to now focus on that thing. And so and he was like, and don't worry, I'm going to do a complete thing in you. Like it's not going to be like how the other failed it, because I tried to go out full time before, failed. And so it was like, don't worry, I'm doing a complete thing through you now. Like you've dedicated this time with me. You spent a year and just focused on me. We've talked, we've worked out your insecurities. We worked out your comparison issues. We worked out through all that. So now it's time for you to really launch out. So that was actually like the last push. And so even like the things where God was like, Micah, because I had an ultimatum with God. I said, God, okay, I'll leave. Listen, I was like, I'll leave if you allow me to have $6,000 in my bank account by the time I leave corporate America.
Listen, I do the same thing. I be like, I need 5 figures a month, Lord. I'm not leaving.
I said, because before I didn't have to worry about, like, I was never really great with money, like saving, because I'm like, I always have a paycheck coming. Right. I'll always have it. And so I remember I had like, maybe $400 in my check-in, maybe $2,300 in my savings, and then like maybe a couple of hundred in my business account.
We giving you real deal.
Yeah. So I was like, God, if you to show me that you're real about this thing, I need $6,000 in my account by the time I leave on September 30th. That was what I prayed. In a week's time, he did that. And I mean, when I say like radical clients, people just paying like top dollar, like all kind of stuff. He's like, you said you gave me 30 days. I gave you a week. Like your time and my timing is not the same.
Right.
But he's like, I'm true to my word. If you ask me, I'll do it. But you obeyed, and so I gave it to you. So I was like, bet, Lord, I'm done. I'm out. Like, as soon as he gave me that date, I literally...
You gotta say nothing else.
I literally put it in that email, send it straight.
You don't got to worry about me.
Okay.
You do not.
I was gone.
Okay. And so with that, so you are a full-time entrepreneur. A lot of things come along with that. So share with me a few of the benefits of being a full. I know there's a lot. However, after you share, you could do whatever you want. You could either give us the good news first or the bad news first. I want to know your struggles that comes along with being a full-time entrepreneur, but then also the benefits of it.
Okay, so the struggles with full-time entrepreneurship is not knowing when your next appointment is going to come. Like, not having control of your finances, and that.
The money ain't consistent.
It's not consistent. Like, some months I have great months. Some months I'm like,
ain't nobody eating at the table. Like,
Jesus, you sure about this?
Right.
Like, did you not hear me? Did I? And I really had to check myself. Was I not obedient? Did I miss something? Like, because he's like, no, I just need to show you and remind you who I am.
Yeah.
Like, it's not always gonna. Because he was like, Micah, if I always give it to you consistently and it's always good, you'll never come to me.
Faith. Right.
Yeah, you'll lose the connection with me because I need you to depend on me, and that's what entrepreneurship is. Like, I was talking to my cousin the other day, and I was like, I don't know how people do entrepreneurship without God.
Okay.
Like, I would stress out all the way if I didn't have God. Like, when I tell you I have weeks where no appointments come through, no money is deposited into my account. Okay. And I still got to be okay with doing what God said and not running back to somebody's job.
Okay.
You know, because it'd be a thought. Okay. I'm not going to lie. It'd be a thought. Right. But I wouldn't give it up. Another struggle is not comparing myself to everybody else. Because I see, they're doing it. They're thriving. Right. Why am I not thriving? Like, am I not good enough? Right. You know, and it's like, I had to stop, like, girl, hush. You are in your own lane. They in their lane, you stay in your lane. Right. And then another struggle I would say is lack of work-life balance. That's hard. We equate, I got to get the money, so I got to work, so I got to put everything else to the side. Like vacations, relaxation times. Like, no, I got to get these clients their galleries. So I'm up 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. Right. You know, trying to get the editing done. And especially when you're a solo entrepreneur, like, it's easy for these companies who got people under them. It's real easy. But when you are the accountant, the receptionist, the administrator, the talent, like, you play every hat, it weighs on you. So I feel like I got to respond. I got to call people back. I got to edit. I got to do this. I got to be here for this person. I got to show up. Oh, it's a family function. Do I miss the family function because I want to take this appointment because I got to make money? So it's hard to sometimes have a good work-life balance. Right.
And for me, I feel like I'm always like, I have to do it all. Yes. Because as a solo entrepreneur, like, you don't have a team when you start off. And so for me, lately in this season, I've been learning to accept help because like, it's like you try to do it all yourself, and sometimes like there's help around you for a reason. Yes. And so any benefits that you want to highlight?
Gosh, the benefits always outweigh the struggles, but I get to control my day-to-day, whatever I'm going to do today. Like, I can choose to work, I can choose to rest. Right. I choose my clientele. Like, I've learned that every client is not my client. Like, every opportunity is not a good opportunity. Yes. So I get to be more in control of my happiness, my joy, my peace. Like, if a client is working my last nerve, you on the do not service again list. Okay. Like, and I get to control that. You know, working for a job, you don't get to do that. Right. So I love it that I get to choose how to spend my money. I get to choose how I'm going to invest it. Like, everything is, I have the capacity to control it if I want to. And I love that.
Right. And so if you could give a piece of advice to someone who wants to go full-time, they want to dive in, what would you tell them? What would you tell them? Yes, dive in.
Before you dive in, make sure that you literally have written out your vision and make sure that it's one that God is calling you to. Because you can want to do amazing things and do these big things, but if that's not your calling, that's not your passion, don't waste your time.
Yes.
Because we lose a lot of money, we lose a lot of time doing things that we're not really called to. And make sure that your faith is in check for what you're asking for. Don't ask for big things if you don't have big faith.
Okay.
Let God help you in the small things with your small faith and let it grow.
Yes.
Because entrepreneurship and self-employment, whatever you want to call it these days, it is not for the faint of heart. You better have tough skin. You better have big faith and be great with your finances. Become good with your finances because ain't nobody in control but you.
Okay, because when tax season comes around, we gonna talk about it. But when tax season come around, real creators know, like, it's a thing, okay?
Okay.
And so I got one last question, which I feel like I kind of know the answer.
Okay.
If you had the opportunity to go back corporate, what you doing?
Child, no. I didn't want to be there in the first place. I will find some way, some shape or form to do something else besides going back to corporate America.
Okay. And so now we have a fun game that I've been playing recently.
Okay.
I'm super excited about it. I try to make things that I feel like you could relate to.
Okay.
So we're going to play this or that.
Oh, the pressure.
And so this is like, you're in a hot seat. You got to quick. I need answers, okay? So I got 10 things. You ready? You sure?
Yeah, maybe.
All right. So makeup or photography?
Photography.
Eyeshadow or lipstick? Yeah, girl.
Eyeshadow.
Natural hair or protective styles?
Oh.
Yep.
Natural hair.
Sephora or Ulta?
Sephora.
Super salad?
Salad.
Highlighter or bronzer?
Oh, highlighter all day.
Lightroom Mobile or Lightroom Classic?
Lightroom Classic.
Capturing or editing? Yeah.
I love editing.
Sneakers or heels?
Lately, sneakers.
Okay. Fixed lens, low f-stop, or zoom lens, high f-stop?
I'm going with that fixed low f-stop because you have more capacity to do more things.
Period. Okay, let's go. Did you like that game?
I loved it.
It was good. I really thought about it. Man, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on the show.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Please let the people know where they can find you, Micah Michelle Artistry, all of that.
So you can find me on Facebook and Instagram under Micah Michelle Artistry or my website, which is www.micahmichelleartistry.com.
Yeah, so make sure you book Micah for all your makeup and photography needs. Again, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited for everyone to watch this episode. I love y'all so very much. And until next week.